A week ago today, the 4th of February, saw the listing of CIEL Limited on the Mauritius Stock Exchange. The company has undergone rebranding as well as a merger in the last little while as it prepared for listing. Arnaud Dallet, the chairman of CIEL, and Sunil Benimadu, who's the chief executive of the Mauritius Stock Exchange, join us now from St. Louis. Well, Arnaud, congratulations, the 4th of February. It's 1 week now as a listed company. Are you happy that you've done the right thing? You haven't got yourself onto a treadmill that you might regret?
No, thank you. Hello. I must say that through this reorganization process and this merger, we managed to put all our entities under one hat, which is CIEL Limited. So now we end up being much stronger financially, and also, I must say, very well diversified as an entity. We managed also to get our listing on the first market of the Stock Exchange of Mauritius, which is a very good thing because since we announced this restructuration, we saw our share price as from 6 months ago rising for almost 45%. So the move has been very well accepted by the market.
Many conglomerates like yours, in other words, as you say, well-diversified companies, are more in fashion nowadays. Is this one of the reasons that spurred you to take this route?
Well, we evolved a lot from a small Mauritian sugar industry company 100 years ago into, as you say, an important conglomerate locally and also in the region. Through our investments into textiles, hotels and resorts, financial services, healthcare, and this gives us a very strong foundation and a very solid base where we can really develop our activities in the region and even on the international front. And this is quite positive. I think it's worth the effort. It's working well, and it allows us to have also a balance in our revenue trend over the years.
Sunil, from your perspective, could you just update us on the number of new listings that have been attracted to the Mauritius Stock Exchange recently?
Well, since 2009, the Stock Exchange of Mauritius has embarked on what we call an internationalization strategy, which aims at diversifying the number of listings outside of the Mauritius business landscape. And this has proved to be very successful, but of course we are also pursuing very actively the listing of local companies like CIEL, and we are very happy that CIEL has joined us. And in terms of numbers, over the past 4 years, we've had 23 global funds that have come to our market. We've got about five local listed companies, 3 global business companies, 2 specialist debt instruments that have listed, and we've had about 6 corporate debentures that have listed. So the last 4 years have been extremely active for the Stock Exchange of Mauritius and has confirmed that we are pursuing the right path in terms of our development strategy.
From what you've shared with us now, it does appear as though the capital markets are deepening if you've got all of these or been able to attract so many listings.
Yes, definitely. I mean, the total market cap of the Stock Exchange of Mauritius currently stands at about 280 billion Mauritian rupees, which is roughly about 85% of the country's GDP, which makes Mauritius the second market in Africa after the South African market in terms of the market cap to GDP ratio. So what this means is that the market is very reflective of the economy, and it's growingly becoming so. And with the listing of CIEL, which has added 9 billion additional Mauritian rupees to the market cap of the official market, I think we're going into the right direction. We think that a company like CIEL will enhance the trading volumes and liquidity on the market. In fact, since its first day of listing on the 4th, some 4.7 million shares have already exchanged hands over a 6-day period. So we are very optimistic about it, and we welcome that kind of initiative, and we look forward to further listings like CIEL on our market.
I know from your perspective, if you have a look at the way your business operates, is there a direct correlation with the Mauritian economy, given that you are so nicely diversified?
Yes, all our sectors where we are invested are main pillars of a Mauritian economy. And I mentioned them already with textiles, sugar, financial services, tourism, now healthcare. And there are great scope for development, not only in Mauritius, but also in the region and on the international front. And being listed now on the first market of the stock exchange gives us a lot of much more firepower to achieve our goals.
I guess from a non-Mauritian perspective, if one believes the Mauritius economy is going to continue growing at 3.5–4%, hopefully more in future, then that can translate into the likely real growth for your business.
Sure, but we can't rely only on the Mauritian economy because we have factories now in many places in East Africa, mainly in Tanzania, for example, where we are invested in the sugar industry near the Kilimanjaro, and we are also investing now in a project in Swaziland. We are working also in developing our activities in the textile sector in India. We have factories in Bangalore and in Bangladesh. We are also prospecting Southeast Asia. So our future is linked with Mauritius for sure, because we have very strong Mauritian roots, but also and mainly also with the international, on the international front in the region.
So Neil, just to close off with, as far as the Mauritian Stock Exchange is concerned, you've had some kind of get-together or at least discussions with the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Is it likely that it'll be easier in future for people in the capital center of the continent here in Johannesburg who would be more easily able to trade in Mauritian stocks? The likes of CIEL seems, I'm sure people watching this would be quite attracted by that.
Well, already investors sitting in South Africa can already trade on the Mauritian Stock Exchange and buy shares like CIEL and others that are listed on our exchange, because Mauritius is already a very open economy. There is no exchange control. There's free entry and free exit in terms of investments. So the market is already open for international investors, South African and other international investors. And as we speak, foreign investors already account for more than 45% of the daily trading volumes on the Mauritian exchange. This being said, we are certainly trying to work closely with the Johannesburg Stock Exchange to find ways and means of using technology to cross-link our markets, with the expectations that over time brokers sitting in South Africa could directly trade from South Africa into our market and vice versa, with expectations that this will certainly deepen, broaden our markets, increase the number of players that are operating in our market, and make the market more lively, more active, more liquid, and eventually help our companies that are listed like CIEL to use the platform to raise capital to fund their ventures within the region, but also outside of the region.
Well, there's all talks about talks, but do you have a timeline when you are likely to be able to conclude this with the Johannesburg Stock Exchange?
We already engaged in terms of the project. It's a question of finding the right technological outfit that would allow us to cross-link our markets in a very cost-efficient manner. So we're already working on that. It's difficult at this point in time for me to give you a definite date, but of course we are doing our best to make this happen within the foreseeable future.
We hope that foreseeable future is this year rather than into the next decade. That was Arnaud Dallet, the chairman of CIEL. And Sunil,